Wit, irony, and sarcasm used to expose and discredit vice or folly as a person, government, or society. This is the definition of satire in the Webster Dictionary. Satire is the word that best encapsulates the essence of Helldivers 2. I say the 2 because, like a huge majority of the player base, I've never even played Helldivers 1. Truthfully, I've never seen a game break out the way Helldivers 2 did. I remember the first time I heard about it, I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I saw some footage of it. At first, I thought it was some kind of Warhammer fan game or something, but I kept seeing more and more footage of it, so of course I would go on to buy the friend group I had at the time. We're currently rapidly approaching the day that it becomes 2 years old, and I know that I'm 2 years late to singing its praises, but I can confidently say this game has gotten so much better with age. At the time of writing, I have about 55 hours in the game, and it was actually the first game I'd ever gotten every achievement for on Steam. But by now you're probably wondering why I had read the definition of satire at the beginning of this video. And for the divers watching, it's painfully obvious. This game is drenched in satire, in the same way that my fangirls get drenched when they hear my voice. Hey ladies, go follow my Instagram and join my Discord. All jokes aside, the game is fully aware of itself and what it's mocking. Fascist ultranationalism, military propaganda, exporting democracy through violence. These are all inherently political topics, but the game tackles them in a way that makes them feel funny. For example, the quips the Helldivers scream out in battle like, "How about a nice cup of liberty?" Or, "Democracy needs me." They're just goofy. It's so entrenched in its own satire that it's rallied the entire community into almost a role-playing state, where certain players act like brainwashed soldiers willing to give anything in the name of managed democracy. When my friends ask me to hop on the game, they don't just say, "Hey, hop on Helldivers." They'll say stuff like, "Freedom ain't gonna spread itself." The community is the best part of Helldivers. It truly is one of the most welcoming communities I've ever been a part of in gaming. If you check out the official Helldivers Discord server, you'll find tons of people chatting about the current state of the Galactic War and other aspects of the game, complete with made-up call signs and sometimes even full-blown character sheets and bios. Hell, there's even a guy on YouTube who made a 3 to 4 hour long video on the Galactic War from launch to now. Part of why the community is so tight-knit is the Galactic War itself. You can choose to dive on any planet you want at any time and fight whichever foe you want. But the story of Helldivers is told through its major orders. These orders tell you where to go and what to focus on. However, just like in real-world conflicts, the individual soldier matters very little in the grand scheme of war. That's why the progress bar barely moves when you complete a mission. But multiply that mission by 20,000 players and suddenly you're making insane progress. This illustrates why you might be a Helldiver, Super Earth's finest, you're still just human. One among billions, and while your actions do matter, they're minuscule compared to the bigger picture. Many people online have called this the grunt fantasy. It's important to understand that you're not a super soldier in Helldivers, and you're not the one person that's going to save the day. That's why when you respawn, you're actually not the same Helldiver you were before when you died. I noticed this myself when the Viper Commandos war bond dropped, and every time you respawn with armor that has exposed skin, your skin tone is randomized. So yes, in terms of the story, you're not playing as the same soldier over and over and over again. This game also has some of the most kick-ass live events I've ever seen. Last summer we had the defense of Super Earth, and it was an incredible time to be a Helldiver. There were over 400,000 players online at any given moment. Panic was spreading across every social media platform, and the entire community rallied together once data miners discovered that it wasn't just a scripted event, and if we lost the defense of Super Earth, then Super Earth would actually be lost. I remember halfway through the fight I went on vacation. I was at Disney World with my family, and every hour I was checking my War Monitor app for updates on the conflict. Helldivers 2 is probably the most consumer-friendly game I've ever played. The base game alone costs $40, and that comes with the Helldivers Mobilized War Bond. War Bonds are Helldivers 2's version of Battle Passes. They're handled very differently. For starters, there's no such thing as a season. War Bonds release whenever the content is ready and quality tested, as we just saw with the Redacted Regiment War Bond, which was delayed because the devs didn't feel it met their standards. When you buy the game, you get its largest War Bond, which gives you the essentials to fight the forces of tyranny. Other War Bonds are not limited time editions, so there's no pressure to rush through content that you've already paid for because you can always pick up new War Bonds later. This game also has an item shop called the Superstore, which features armor and weapons on rotation every couple of days. But the prices for these microtransactions are actually micro? $2 to $3 for armor and skins should be the industry standard. It's funny that we call them microtransactions in games like Call of Duty or Halo Infinite, where a single cosmetic can cost upwards of $20. This is genuinely one of the most hopeful things I've seen in gaming in years. Microtransactions should be micro. The best part about the armor in the Superstore is that it's not just cosmetic. It comes with the same passives as the war bond that it's associated with. So, for example, let's say that you like a passive but you don't like the look of the war bond armor, or you don't want to spend $10 on a war bond just for a couple of items. You can grab what you want for a fraction of the cost. Speaking of cost, did I mention that you can find super credits, the currency used for war bonding in the superstore, just out in the world on missions? That means that there, with enough patience and enough grinding, you can get the game for $40 and never have to spend another dime. Personally, I like saving money where I can, but if I've completed the war bond and have medals to spare, I have no issues with giving Arrowhead $10 every couple of months. Their business practices have shown that it's not about squeezing profit margins, Activision, but it's also creating a quality product that people can enjoy. Speaking of what's best for the game, Helldivers 2 is the first game that I've seen where PlayStation players actively asked for it to be released on Xbox. That's a massive achievement. Instead of just bragging about exclusivity, the community just wanted to share the experience with other gamers. This game simply has charm. I saw a clip where developers were asked why friendly fire exists in the game, and the response was basically because we thought it was fun. In all honesty, that's what gaming has been missing lately. The market is so oversaturated with ultra competitive and sweaty games, but whatever happened to booting up a game to relax and just have fun with the homies? The development team actually listens to feedback and constantly tries to give players what they want. Most recently, we got the Python Commandos Warband and the minigun, something that the community's been begging for ages now. The way the devs interact with the community actually does remind me of Bungie from the Halo 2 and Halo 3 era. One example of this is we get an operation where the community had to choose between anti-tank mines or saving the children. The devs assumed that we'd choose the tank mines because saving the children had no gameplay effect or benefit for the Helldivers, but when the community chose to save the children, Arrowhead actually donated money to children in need in real life. Gameplay-wise, this is some of the best third-person shooting I've seen in years. I love how supply management is a core mechanic, and reloading prematurely is a bad idea. You'll lose whatever ammo you had left in the magazine. Then there are the stims. Stims heal you, and you can spam these stims from a stub toe every now and then, but when your leg is broken and you can't outrun a horde because you're out of stims, you're absolutely fucked. Another part of the game I love is the squad-based mechanics that, admittedly, I've noticed that most of the community doesn't use. That could be entirely because I'm a solo distress diver, but even when playing with a communicative squad, nobody uses these. And it's a shame, because it enhances the immersion and effectiveness of the weapons we have. Like the team reload mechanic. It's so cool, but I rarely ever see it get used. Or the supply back strategy. If you're unaware, guys, you can give your team the supplies that are in the backpack and then refill it from the supply drop. Meaning that if just one of your squad mates uses this, you'll effectively have a walking resupply drop with you at all times. There's also the stim system, which I actually do see people use, where if your teammate is out of stims and you have one, you can run up to your teammate and stim them, healing them for full health. I want to start off by saying I apologize for how long it took to get this video out. My college semester just started, so finding time to record, edit, and upload videos is going to become harder in the coming months. All in all, I can't sing this game's praises enough. It's one of my favorite games from the past couple of years, and its best experience with friends. I actually bought the game for my family over this past Christmas. It's a co-op game, and that's where it shines brightest. There's something for every playstyle here, so if you're still on the fence, buy it. It's high-octane fun that doesn't take itself too seriously. By the way, I'm always looking forward to new games to check out, so let me know your recommendations down in the comments below. And if you've played Helldivers 2, let me know what your favorite parts were. Also, that joke I made about Instagram and Discord in the beginning, it's not a joke. Both links for both of those will be in the description down below if you want to follow me on other platforms. But that's going to be all for today. As always, thank you all for watching, and stay ghoulish, my friends.